I want to completely warn you that before I carry on talking, that this is a severely trigger-filled video. I'm going to be completely bluntly honest, graphic, depressing. I'm going to talk about suicide, and if you feel uncomfortable with that or feel like you could be triggered by that, I advise you not to carry on watching. I don't really know how this video is going to be. I don't know whether it's going to be edited or whether it's going to be raw. I didn't even know if I'd be uploading a video today or this week, if I'm honest, because every day leading up to this event has somehow contributed to the thoughts that exploded out of me. I don't know what I'm saying, but they all contributed to my darkest hour. So today, when you're watching this, 2 weeks prior, Thursday the 31st of August, I thought about killing myself. I sat in that shower in my bathroom, crying my eyes out, fully clothed, the shower wasn't running, and just wanting to die. This isn't a video looking for pity, attention, anything like that. It's one of the biggest reasons why I'm not telling you why these things led up to that, because that might be looking for sympathy or attention, because obviously bad things have happened. This video is more to explain why there isn't a video today, but also more importantly to show you that it is the 3rd of September and I am still here. I didn't do anything. I didn't even self-harm. I just sat there and cried. I sat there and cried and had some of the worst thoughts I've had in years. And I genuinely didn't see a way out. I genuinely didn't see a way out. I felt like I had no one, literally no one to talk to except for my dad. My dad seemed to be the only person left, and I knew I could ring him no matter how late it was, and I did. And he didn't answer at first. He was, I don't know, and I am kind of embarrassed, but still not embarrassed that I went on Patreon, and because I needed to talk to someone. I needed to reach out to someone. I knew I needed help, not attention, help. But I didn't want to put it on Facebook. I didn't want just anyone to see it. I wanted someone who would care. And so yeah, I put it on Patreon, and I was a complete mess. And that's what I'm embarrassed about, is the fact that it was this raw emotional message that scared some people. And but they got in touch, and I kind of talked to them, and I cried to just some people, like literally loved down the phone. And then eventually my dad called, and I cried, and he was there, and he talked me down, and I cried until I couldn't cry anymore, and then I cried until I felt sick, and then I cried until I think there was pretty much no liquid left in my body, and then I was so sore, and I had such a bad headache, my eyes hurt, but I felt so much lighter for it. I felt so much lighter for flushing out everything bad and stressful and upsetting that has happened to me lately. And I just went, I need help, and Andrew came and sat with me then, and we talked and we talked and we talked, and then we just sat there, and then he was like, we'll ring the doctors tomorrow. And we did, and the doctors were busy, but they were able to make me an appointment on the Saturday. And then I went to the doctors on Saturday, and they were amazing. They sat me down and they just listened to me, and I said, yeah, I feel suicidal again. For anyone who doesn't know, I used to be, like 7 years ago. And I said, but I need help. I know the early signs now. I let it get so bad last time, and I think I've let it get too far to think to get suicidal again, if I'm honest. I thought I could do it myself. I obviously can't right now. And so I said, I don't want to go on antidepressants. I really don't. but I want to try beta blockers and therapy. And the thing is, I know what I want, but I'm not a medical professional. If the doctor turned around and went, look, no, I really think you need this, I would have been really unhappy with it, but I would have listened to her because she is the medical professional. But no, she listened to me and she was happy enough with that. She wanted me to go on something called fluoxetine, which apparently battles antidepressants and anxiety, but she was happy enough for me to try just beta blockers and therapy for now. And if it doesn't do as much as I need, then we can try other avenues. And she was listening and she was patient, and I cried. I don't know why. I was just like, thank you for listening to me. I started crying again. I was excited to embrace help, because the thing is, there was a quote I always loved about depression, and it's not that my problems are worse than anybody else's, it's that my ability to cope with it is less than everyone else's. And that's what you've got to learn with depression and stuff like that. You've just got to develop these coping mechanisms to build yourself up to weather the storm, you know? I'm half embarrassed, and I hate that I have to keep pointing out that it's not for attention, it's not for attention, because it's that stigma of talking about mental health. And there are people that use mental health the wrong way, for wrong excuses or attention maybe, but majority of people just want help. And that's why I did this video. That's why I sat down and just talked to the camera. And I'm so sorry, because I know so much of this is just me babbling, but it's important. And I just think it's important for me to say, hey, I had one of the darkest moments of my life the other day, but I'm here. I'm here. And during that darkest moment, I knew I needed help, and I rang someone up. And even though I felt like nobody could help me, and I actually worried for a moment it was the end, even if for a moment I genuinely thought it was the end for me, something made me go, no. One of my favourite poems in the whole world is If by Richard Kipling, and I just, everyone needs to learn this poem. And every day I try and read this poem out to myself, and there's a phrase in it, and it says, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve you long after they are gone, and so hold on to when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. That line always makes me cry all the time, because I relate to it so much. And it's at moments like that when there was nothing left in me and I was about to give up, something inside of me went, no, hold on just a little bit longer, make one more phone call, reach out one more time. And sometimes you are at rock bottom, and you've got to do that, and you've got to just push yourself. And sometimes you've got to make sure you get out of bed, and sometimes you've got to make sure you put clean clothes on. Sometimes you've got to remind yourself to wash. And then a couple of days later, you could have an amazing night with your friends and be laughing and go, this is why we live. This is why we could go through all this shit. Because there's good as well. But you don't see that when you're that down. You don't see that when there's no light at the end of the tunnel. You don't see anything when there's no light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm not even saying I'm your light. I'm not even saying I'm a good example of how to deal with mental health. I just think it's important to talk about it. And it's important to say, hey, I survived another dark day, and now I'm here. And I seem sad now because I'm talking about a moment that makes me sad, but I've actually been pretty good lately. And I'm gonna get better, and I'm gonna get stronger, and I'm gonna get happier, and it's gonna be great. So I've been talking for 11 minutes, and that's ridiculous, and I don't think anyone will still be here. So I'm gonna go. I just wanted to say I'm still here. And if anybody feels like they connect to this video too much. You know, I'm here for you, and I'm sure other people are, and there are definitely numbers to ring, which I will put in the description below, or links you can look at. And I'm gonna put a link, one of them links is gonna be to If, because that poem is brilliant. Like, I'm actually quite proud of myself that I've been saying it so much lately that I've finally learnt it off by heart. And it's something I've always wanted to do, so you know, every cloud, every silver lining. But yeah, I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.